verbal or life.
Thank you very much. What Biden is doing with respect to Israel is disgraceful. If any Jewish person voted for Joe Biden, they should be ashamed of themselves. He's totally abandoned Israel, and nobody can believe it. I guess he feels good about it because he did it as a political decision. You have to do the right decision, not the political decision. But he did a very bad thing. I just want to let you know that we've just filed a major motion in the appellate division concerning the absolutely unconstitutional gag order, where I'm essentially not allowed to talk to you about anything meaningful that's going on in the case, and many good things are going on with the case. It shouldn't have been filed. They had this morning the top legal scholars in the country. This is a Frankenstein case. They took a dead misdemeanor, they attached it to a dead alleged federal felony and zapped it back into life. So many of us are just amazed to watch this actually walk into court because it's not a recognizable crime that any of us have seen. That's Jonathan Turley. I've been doing this for 60 years and I don't understand what crime he's been charged with. Nobody understands this. I just don't get the crime. There's no evidence of any crime whatsoever. This is a sham. That's Alan Dershowitz. And these are people that they speak their minds. They're not for me, they're for justice. This is another one. This is without precedent in American history, only with the desperation of President Joe Biden and his fanatic left-wing enforcers did it become possible to think about arresting and jailing their major political opponent. This case must be taken out of Judge Merchan's hands because he's totally conflicted. Judge Merchan is totally conflicted, like probably no judge has ever been conflicted before. Here's another one, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. His prosecution of former President Donald Trump violates both the federal and state constitutions. This is a prosecutor making it up as he goes along. Due process worthy of the names does not tolerate that. So these are statements. This is Andrew McCarthy made that statement, highly respected. A judge is allowing wide scope of information that has absolutely nothing to do with the case. That's Rebecca Rose Woodland, Fox News. Today we have Rick Scott here, Senator Rick Scott. We have other politicians here. We have people, many people in support. The outside of this building is closed down like Fort Knox. Nobody's ever seen. We have so many police down here, New York's finest, and they are New York's finest. They're just told what to do, but they don't have them at Columbia. They don't have them at NYU or any other places. This is like an armed camp down here, and you have nothing to worry about. Believe me, your problem is from the left, it's not from the right. Big problem from the left. It's from within our country. That's a bigger, in my opinion, a bigger danger than China or Russia. You have it from the outside and you have it from within. From within is a bigger danger to our country, and it's from the left, not from the right. But Rick Scott's here and he said you can't go after political persecutions. This is a shame. This should not be happening in our country. And Senator Ted Cruz put out a very strong statement about attacking Donald Trump and the American voter. It's an attack on both. This is purely and simply election interference. There is no case. So that's the way it is. But here we sit after 2.5 weeks. And I think you'll see some very revealing things today. And I want to thank my lawyers. They've done a very good job, but I'd rather thank them after it's over as opposed to now, because we don't want them to get carried away. There's no case. Should have never been brought. Alvin Bragg didn't want to bring it. Cy Vance didn't want to bring it, and he didn't. He left. He didn't bring it. Everybody's looked at it. Southern District didn't bring it. Federal elections didn't bring it. It's also a federal case, not a state case, which they're not allowed to do, but these are minor details. So I just want to thank you for being here, and we'll see you later in the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Are they really going to put Donald Trump in jail? It's crazy. Welcome to Verbal on Life. My name is Noel, battling MS. In this episode, we're going to take a look at what they're reporting on the news right now and what they're saying about Donald Trump. Let's take a look. Oh, and by the way, if this is your first time on the video, click on that like button before you go anywhere. All right.
Democrats know they can't beat Trump in November, which is why they wanted to bury him with convictions before Election Day. But now their legal strategy is crumbling. The classified documents case in Florida has been delayed indefinitely. Probably won't go to trial until after the election. And if Trump wins, he'll just have it dropped. A big issue in the case is that the FBI brought props to the Mar-a-Lago raid to stage a photo shoot. Remember the picture of Trump's documents spread out on the carpet with cover pages saying top secret in bright red block letters? The FBI staged that shot and brought with them top secret cover pages, removed some of the Trump documents, and then slapped the top secret cover letters right on top to make it look dramatic. The media ate it up.
The filing includes this stunning photograph, a smattering of highly classified U.S. documents with unmistakably clear top secret and SCI markings laid out on a Mar-a-Lago carpet.
This picture that you have up on the screen right now, it's very hard for the former president to say he didn't know that he had these documents. I don't know how you would possibly make this claim.
In Georgia, an appeals court just sided with Trump and will now rule on whether Fani Willis can be disqualified, which could be a victory for Nathan Wade, the lover boy, since that could mean he and Fani could spend some more time together. And in the January 6th case, it's in limbo, waiting for a Supreme Court decision this summer before
All the cases on Donald Trump are just falling apart, and they don't know what to do about it. It's crazy.
things can move on. At this rate, all of these trials may be pushed back until after the election, which leaves only one case, Alvin Bragg's case. And the Democrats are panicking because it's falling apart. Yesterday's Stormy Daniels' salacious hearsay testimony was designed to humiliate the former president. But it turned into such a train wreck, even the media is now admitting it could blow the case up.
The cross-exam, boy, her responses were disastrous. I mean, do you hate Donald Trump? Yes, of course she does. That's a big deal. When the witness hates the person whose liberty is at stake, that's a big damn deal.
Stormy Daniels is one of those witnesses that tends to not just answer the question asked, but add her own editorial.
And I can't believe they let her talk for that long, talking about things that had nothing to do with the case. Crazy.
And that is a really dangerous thing.
Some of what she said might generate a little sympathy for Trump, because for all today was fascinating, and I'm sure everybody's fascinated, as was I. Most of it's just not relevant.
In case you missed it, that was Jeffrey Toobin offering legal analysis. Jeff Toobin, who allegedly impregnated his own colleague's daughter, refused to take a paternity test, and then bribed her to have an abortion. Toobin also famous for getting caught pleasuring himself on a company Zoom call. In some ways, this campaign against Trump mirrors Grover Cleveland's 1884 election. Cleveland, a Democrat, allegedly fathered an illegitimate child a decade before he ran for president, and it became a rallying cry for Republicans during the campaign. Rallies were booming with chants of "Ma, Ma, where's my pa?" Cleveland won that race by a hair after voters dismissed the sexual indiscretion and eventually went on to become the only U.S. president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms.
Trump is going to be the next one to do so. Crazy.
140 years later, Donald Trump's trying to achieve the same feat, as flagged by O'Reilly's No Spin News. Trump denies claims made by Stormy, and it looks like he's on his way back to the White House. Chris Keyes is an attorney representing Donald Trump, and he joins me now. All right, Chris, what's going on down there with these documents?
Well, Jesse, I think what you're seeing is across the board, these cases are starting, as you say, to crumble a bit. Rightly so, because they're rife with misconduct. They're rife with problematic conduct by the prosecution. You have the documents case where now there's allegations that the evidence, the boxes, this is a boxes case, and the evidence has been mishandled. There's no question. I was involved in the original proceeding challenging the search warrant, and there's no question that those photographs were staged. And so now there's questions regarding the status of the evidence in the critical evidence in the case. In the Georgia case, you have an appellate court that's now agreed to review what is, I think, to most Americans, obvious prosecutorial misconduct. So I think that case is falling by the wayside. And now this afternoon, there are allegations, a report that Justice Engoron in the civil case that we tried last fall that he's under investigation, under an ethics investigation because of inappropriate contact, what's called ex parte communications. And so you wonder at some point, how much can the American legal system withstand? How much further are the Democrats willing to push the envelope to strain the legal system in order to bend it to their will, in order to try and prevent Donald Trump from getting into the White House? What really should have happened is what happened with Grover Cleveland. We should let the voters decide. That's why there's an election. And Donald Trump, if they let the voters decide, I think that's what President Biden is worried about.
He's terrified of it, and that's why he's going so crazy. So Judge Nudy's in trouble. He's under investigation. And what about Fannie? Fannie's now about to be disqueued by the Georgia Court of Appeals.
It looks like it. I mean, certainly, it's a welcome sign for those who are in favor of justice in America. It's a welcome sign that the appellate court is willing to undertake this investigation. That's certainly going to stall any trial. I think it's a welcome sign in the civil case that you've got Justice Engoron under some sort of investigation. Apparently, this has been a judge that has been left basically unsupervised by the New York State court system for the past 2 years or more, and certainly we need a thorough investigation, just like is apparently going to happen in Georgia. And we need a thorough investigation. The judge should be recused in the civil case, and it calls into question the integrity of the entire process.
Sure does. Yeah, Judge Nudy definitely needs more supervision. Everybody can agree upon that. Chris Kise, thank you so much. And I didn't go to law school, but
thank you, Jesse.
I know you're not allowed to take evidence, spread it all around, and then bring stuff from outside and slap it on top of it and take photos. That I know is not allowed. Thank you so much.
That's generally not the best practice.
Generally not
the best practice.
Yeah, it's frowned upon in the legal sense. Well,
those pictures in Mar-a-Lago look staged. And this whole case against Trump is just falling apart. All of them, all of the cases on Donald Trump are falling apart. But what do you think? Comment below. Do you think everything's going to fall apart and they're going to drop all the cases and we're going to get a Trump win in November or not? Be verbal on life and comment below. See you guys in the next video. Peace.
Verbal on life.